Today I am going to be talking about plants that I grow from cuttings. So cuttings just means that there are some plants where you can literally cut it. You can cut it like at a part where it's considered the node, which is kind of like a little bumpy part of the plant, where new growth is happening. And if you cut it like at a diagonal angle from the node, and you transplant it, it should be able to take root and grow. It's something that I'm still learning. Not every plant can take root that way. Some can, and I think some plants, like the cuttings, should be different, where it could be cut and should be cut, but that's all part of the experimentation. And I have gotten my cuttings from my clients. I go to help them in their personal garden or yards or whatever, and they're usually kind enough to either just gift them to me or I'll ask them. And the thing is, when you grow plants from cuttings, it's a totally different experience than when you get like a really perfect plant from the plant nursery, because a plant from a plant nursery, probably before even got to the plant store itself, they probably bought it from a grower. The grower had that plant growing under the most perfect conditions, so it aesthetically looks the most beautiful, like it's going to be well-rounded, full, the light's going to be perfect. In the nursery, everything is very controlled. They control the growth, or all the conditions, the light, the temperature, and the humidity per particular plant that they're growing, to make sure it's super beautiful, so that way when it gets to the plant nursery and you walk by, as a consumer, you're like, I need this plant because it is perfect, right? It's kind of like the Disneyland effect, like, it looks perfect, I need it. But when you grow a plant from cutting, it's a little bit more, on the rugged side, but actually it's good because you see the full process of it, and it just has a lot more character. So I'll show you. I actually only brought out two, but I'm going to be planting up a third one with you because I got some cuttings yesterday. So this right here is a prayer plant, it's called. I forget its botanical name. So plants have botanical names, and like the scientific names, and then like the common name. So I kind of remember the common names usually, most of the time. The botanical names, the scientific names, most of the time I forget. But this is a prayer plant, and see, it's so pretty. I feel like maybe I should have put it in a pot that was like bigger, but I was working with what I have, and that's another thing. It's like you work with what you have. I didn't want to go out and buy another pot for the cutting. And also, it's the importance of like working with what you have. Recycling, reduce, reuse. So anyways, this plant was given to me by a client, and I had no idea she was going to gift it to me. She gave me about 4 cuttings of the prayer plant, and I've had this plant now for about 7 months now, and only 2 of the leaves survived. So this one and this one. And let me backtrack. Actually, other ones did survive, but I've had to learn. Isn't it so beautiful? I had to learn about the prayer plant because prayer plant's leaves are so beautiful and thin and very delicate that actually this is the only plant that I give like super bougie water to. Meaning, most of my plants I just give them my tap water. But this plant, I do give her the tap water. However, what I do is I let the water sit out for about 48 hours, and hopefully it just kind of evaporates all of the chlorine and all the stuff that's in there. There is like a debate whether that works or not, but I don't want to go out and buy spring water for this one plant. Some people, they buy spring water, or if you have an aquarium, you can use your aquarium water, because our water that comes from the sink has a lot of chemicals, and I don't know if chemical is the right word, but there's additives to it that some of our plant babies don't like. And this particular plant baby didn't like it, so its leaves were like crisping and just not beautiful. So it was growing, but I had kind of like messed up the leaves, and then I I wanted to rehab it and I Googled it, and then I learned that this particular plant enjoys very pristine water. And that's been working. So I have to let the water sit out for about 48 hours. You can do it for 24 hours, but I do it for about 48. And then I water it with that. And so what's really exciting is I had 2 leaves after all of the said and done. Some of them just died immediately because of the transplant shock, and I don't think it took root. But then later on, as it kept growing, I accidentally had burnt the leaves, or just kind of messed up the leaves because I gave it the wrong type of water. But anyways, now this new leaf is growing and I'm so excited. So yeah, it's pretty big now, but it was really exciting for me for that new leaf to grow. So yeah, I mean, if they were to sell this like at a plant shop, they would have made it beautiful and already filled out and stuff like that. But I mean, this is just kind of more organic and just kind of seeing the growth process of it. And it's called a prayer plant because, putting it down, it's a little baby. It's called a prayer plant because at night it closes up its leaves and it looks like it prays. So it's really, really cute. So, and another plant I grew from a cutting was this. I talked about this in another video. This actually came not from a client, but from my dad. So he gave me a cutting, and it was like pretty much up to here when I first got it. I've had her for about, I think maybe a year now. And her name is Dina. She's named Dina after the character in Superstore. I don't know if you watch that, but Dina in Superstore is serious, funny, and hearty, and this is Dina. So yeah, she actually produced pups, and I just propagated the pups and put them in their own little home. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, yesterday I went to a client's house, and she was kind enough to give me some clippings, and these are the clippings. So I'm going to pot these up. I generally try to let them sit out for 24 hours so then at the end the roots can harden a little bit. Again, I'm learning the process. I hear different things, and just like with anything, you have to try it to yourself to see what works. So hopefully these babies take root and I can grow them, and it's good for me to learn as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune this back. So prune this back. And I see in here, I don't know, can you see that? There's like some little growth in there. So that's good. And you know, the leaves aren't super quote unquote perfect, and that's okay. We're not going for perfection. We're going for growth and development. And growth and development is not all picture perfect during the process. Okay, whatever Instagram says, it's not. So what I'm gonna do is, and also, growing plants from clippings and cuttings is so much cheaper. It may not be as aesthetically pleasing as a plant that's grown at a nursery, but it's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna repot it. I'm gonna pot this plant in this pot, and this is a terracotta pot that my boyfriend had painted a long time ago. In February he painted this, and another plant was living here and that plant died. So now I have cleaned this, sanitized this, and we're gonna plant this baby in here, and hopefully it grows pretty well. So there are different types of pots. So this is terracotta. You can plant plants in plastic pots, or you can plant them in ceramic. So when you plant them in terracotta is made out of clay, so the clay whisks up a lot of water. So the point I'm trying to make is, sorry, the yard people are going by, or the landscape people. The point I'm trying to make is that when you plant a plant in a terracotta pot, just know you're going to be watering it more than you would if it were to be in a plastic pot, which there's nothing wrong with it. I, as a particular plant parent, tend to overwater. So actually terracottas work good for me. They're really cheap and they're sustainable. So if it does break, you can put it in a compost. That's a whole other video. I'm working on my composting journey right now, but I'll talk about that in a few months, because right now it's a hot mess express, but it's part of the learning. Just got a message. Okay. So, anyways, so now let's just do it. Let's do the damn thing. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some soil to put in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up in here. So this is an old janky pot that I use for mixing. It has holes on the bottom, so that's why I'm putting it on top. So I'm repurposing this from a takeout thing. I'm repurposing this old janky pot just because I have it. And this I'm repurposing from takeout that they had given to us and I didn't need. So I just will sanitize it. This I'm going to clean it afterwards, but it always has new soil going into it. So like it's, you know, I'm not scared of like pests and disease and stuff like that, but at this point I should clean it just because it's not cute. And anyway, so I'm going to do my little soil mixture and put it in here and mix it together, and then I'll put it in here. But I'm mixing the soil with a few different things because the soil is really important. I mean, the soil on this planet Earth is super important. So just Google the importance of soil and the importance of all life forms, especially humans. So I do take time to think about what I put inside my plant soils and what I'm working with what I have. So today what I'm going to do is I have just this Miracle-Gro one. This probably isn't my go-to, but I did get it as a gift, so I'm just going to use it. So it's just regular potting mix, and then I'm going to add some amendments to it. I'm going to add some fertilizer. I'm not going to add much fertilizer, just a teeny bit. This is organic fertilizer, so it's not as intense as like a synthetic fertilizer. So because with fertilizers you have to be careful because you can burn the plant. So it's just like vitamins. A fertilizer is an addition, not like the main source. So you can overdose on vitamins, but it should be just a supplement. So I'm going to put just a teeny bit of this. And then the last thing I'm going to amend the soil with is some vermiculite. Vermiculite is a good amendment. It helps with the pH balance of the soil, and it helps with good drainage. So I'm just gonna, you know, like a little chefy poo, just mix it all together, and not that much because obviously my pot is teeny weeny, but I just want to give it some a good little TLC. So it's pretty humid out here, guys. Okay, usually I start with the main potting soil, but whatever, I don't know. Just put a little bit of this in here. A little bit of them. This is going to be the main portion, just the main potting soil. The other things are amendments. Okay, ooh, I think I put too much, but that's okay. And then a little bit of the vermiculites. So I actually usually like to have a scoop for this process to scoop it out of there, but I really don't know what happened to my scoop, so you know. Okay, now I'm just going to mix it all together. Beautiful concoction. Okay, I feel like that soil is good, so hopefully the plant baby will be happy with this. Okay, what about that? What do you think? It's nice, rich colors with some of that vermiculite to help balance the pH. So, okay, you have to get a little down and dirty sometimes. You know, you can't be all squeamish. It's good to put your hands in soil. There's so many therapeutic benefits with it, associated with it. Okay. Now I'm going to put some of this soil in here. Yeah, again, this would be way better with a scoop, but I don't have one just because, you know, your girl's silly sometimes. Okay. Put it in there. Just do one at a time. I'm gonna just poke a hole. I don't know. You get the idea. I'm not really good at recording this, guys. Shit. Oh no. You know what? Oh goodness gracious. Okay. There's one. Poke another hole. There's two. Okay, let me see if I can just add some more on top. I'm sorry, since I don't have a scoop, I can't really like do this seamlessly and super cute. Like, but whatever. I'm doing the best I can, guys. Okay. So, actually I feel like this pot is not big enough for these guys. So I am going to clip the clippings a little bit more, which is sad because I had already kind of let them callus over. But this is part of the experimentation. So let's see. So these are the nodes that I was talking about. You see these little things? Those are called nodes. So I'm gonna cut it at one of the nodes. I mean, I'm sweating, it's not cute. I'm gonna cut at one of the nodes, do it diagonally. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like I'm looking at the camera, so I was looking at this. Let me just pay attention to the plant, baby. Let's see. Okay, hopefully this will root up. See, this one doesn't even have any nodes, so I don't even know if this is one's gonna grow or not. But it's part of the experimentation process. But I'll still just cut diagonally. For whatever reason, diagonally seems to be the way to do it. Okay, let's see if they will fit in here now. But I cut it a little bit. Okay. I think that works out good. So now I need to water it in. I didn't bring water out here. But here they are. Wish them luck. We'll see if these grow from cuttings. Oh, shish kebab. Yeah, I just need to water it in. That's why they're like falling everywhere. But I didn't bring water out here to water it in, guys. But once I water it in, they'll get sealed and then they won't be flip-flopping everywhere, kind of congeal. And then after I water it, then I can tell whether I need to add a little bit more soil to kind of compact it a little bit more. Ah! Yay. See, it has character to it. It's cute. So anyways, I just wanted to share where I'm at right now with my learnings of learning how to grow from cuttings. It's really fun. So that's all I have to say today. I hope you're doing well. This is a much longer video than I usually like doing, but that is cool because it took longer than I anticipated. So from my heart to yours, I'm sending you L.O.V.E with an exclamation mark. Ciao for now.